Hi and welcome for today's video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I transformed this men's polo shirt into this really cute two-piece set. So if you'd like to see how I did that, just keep on watching. So first here I just have the polo laid out on the floor and I'm going to cut it right here. And I just tried it on and tried to measure it where I think it would fit. So you can go ahead and do that on yourself. Just try it on and measure it where the top won't be too short and the skirt won't be too short either. And for me that was right at this stripe. So now we have the two pieces. We're going to be working with the front piece first. So first of here, I just cut off the sleeves and some of the side fabric, and I just do that by laying one of my other blouses on top of it, so I know that it would match up my size. But I also did cut it so it was a little too much fabric, so I know it won't be too small. So you can go ahead and do that. So when you've done that, you're going to end up with something that will look like this. So then you're going to turn it inside out, so you have the wrong side up, and then we're going to pin it down in the sides. And you're just going to match up the stripes. You're going to do this in both sides and just sew across here with a straight stitch. So then it looks like this. You have the side seam. Now I'm going to do the bottom hem, and for that I'm just going to fold it up for about a little more than a centimeter. So it's going to create a little gap where we can put in an elastic. So here I'm just pinning it down. And where I start to sew, I'm not going to finish sewing all the way across to that point because it needs to be a little opening on this seam. But I'm going to show you that in a minute. So now here I've done it. So now we're going to sew the hemline of the sleeve hole, the armhole. So first I'm just going to sew like this, creating a line. Then I'm going to fold it like this. And here the wrong side is facing up, so the seam is going to be in the wrong side. So inside the top. Like this. So when you're done that, you're just going to cut off the extra fabric like I'm doing here. And then you're just going to fold the fabric one more time and sew on top of that. And when you're done that, the hemline is done. Like this. So now I just tried mine on and the gap was a little too big, so I'm just measure it and I'm going to sew it a little further up. So here's the elastics that we're going to put inside our top. I waited to put it in until I tried it because I didn't know if it was going to be too tight. So I'm just going to put it in this little gap that it is, and I just measured the elastic just by pulling around my waist and then cutting a piece so I know it's the right length. So now I've secured that, and I'm going to remove the little brand because it was way too far down. And I also sewed in the arm a little because it was too big for me. So remember, when you're sewing something for yourself, you can just keep trying it all until it fits perfectly. So now here we're going to do the skirt. So I've put in 3 pins, one in the middle and one 10 centimeter in one side, and I'm going to cut down in the sides because it was way too wide for me. So I cut kind of like this, and I also cut about 7 centimeters down in the middle And in one of these sides I'm going to make a slit. But here I've just pinned it up, matching up the stripes, and here you can see the slit. I just bent over the fabric and pinning it down. So this is what it looks like. One of the side and the other side. So it's a bit longer on the back side. So now I'm just going to sew across the sides like this. Now I've sewn on the side and I'll cut a little piece. And I don't really have any measurements for this piece, it's kind of random. I just cut it until it fit here where I needed it. So this is where we're going to sew some buttons in, and I'm just folding it like I'm showing you here, so that it becomes a little longer, if you can say that, and just matching it up all the way down. And this can be a little difficult to do, so you might have to do it a couple of times until it looks right. And down here in the bottom, I'm also folding the bottom up and then folding it in like that. Just like that. So now we're just gonna sew down here, and this is where we're going to put our buttons in it, so you can see this is going to look like this. So now it's sewn on, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to sew it on to the other piece, just down here, like this. I also folded up the other side, just to have a hem like this. So this is what it looks like. So now we're going to sew some buttonholes in the thick side and some buttons in the back side. But first we're going to do the top hemline, and that I'm just doing by just folding the top about a little more than a centimeter down, like this. So now I cut 5 of these pieces. These are about 8 centimeters long and 4.5 centimeters wide. And I just sew across them and then turn them inside out so they became these little straps, which I'm going to sew so I can have a belt on this skirt. I'm just going to fold it like this and just sew it. And I just put them and sewed them all where I thought it fit. I had a little hole in the back side, which I showed you earlier because I accidentally cut it. So when you're done that, your piece is completely done. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. I really love how it turned out. I think it was really easy to do, and I think it will be perfect for summer. So if you'd like to see more videos from me, just go ahead and check out my channel. But other than that, just thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye.